the next 12 minutes amongst these three personalities. If you've got a question, please identify yourselves and the agency you're with, and we'll see how much we can knock out. So who would like the first question for Coach Young? We'll go front row to your left. Coach, we'll hustle a microphone down that way.
You can just leave the microphone down there, young lady. I know him. I know him well.
Thanks. Good afternoon. Well, you have one less guard than you did when preseason practice started. Given the guards and wings you still have, how do you feel you'll be able to withstand the loss of Rodney?
Fine. I went into it. I talked to you about the quality of depth that we have, up and down the roster, and nothing's changed. We could play as many as 6 potentially in the backcourt. 5 is probably more realistic, and I think we've got behind Hunter and Sean, MJ Collins, 2 kids that can again help us win games. That's all that matters.
Coach, to your right, first row.
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. Coach, as we look at this conference grow from the 15 already to 18 next season, what are your thoughts on the world of realignment, expansion, and that there could be an ACC tournament that doesn't have every school?
Well, you're the first that's asked me my opinion. I'm all for it. Obviously, it's a football decision. I understand that. I've said it a couple of times now, and I mean this. I have incredible confidence and respect for Jim Phillips and for the leadership on our campus, and Tim Sands and Whit Babcock, and they deem that necessary to move our league forward, and I'm all for that. I do not. I shudder at the thought of not taking every team to the ACC tournament. I think that's of critical importance. I'll talk to Commissioner Phillips about that as we move along. I certainly understand his heartburn with adding an additional day to the league tournament. That'd be an additional day to the women's tournament. So that's a lot. So those are conversations that we'll all have with the commissioner and others as we move along.
Coach, from the podium, my notes show me that you let Hunter install a play in an October practice.
He screwed it up, as I knew he would.
What led to the suggestion? What led to the idea that he could do that?
He sometimes comes by the office. I think he gets bored, so he comes to see me, and he has his lunch, and we're thinking out loud, and he had an idea about a wrinkle to something that we already have, and I liked it. I said, all right, you got it. You're putting it in. He wants to coach when his playing days are over, when his professional career is over. He'll be really a good one. He's a very sharp, has a very sharp basketball mind. I got no problem with who installs things. Just get it right, and he got it exactly right. Do we still have it in? Do we do? All right. Way to go. Proud of you.
Does it have a creative name to it?
No, it's probably in the Lubbock family.
Other questions for Coach Young? Since we have him, we'll go first row to the left.
David
Cunningham, Tech sideline. Mike, MJ had to play more last year than you probably wanted him to play. How did that experience shape him, and how is he better this year because of it?
Well, I think, David, and there was some anxious moments for me. I thought he handled himself very well, but the thought of, going into league play and the understanding out of necessity, you're going to have to play a freshman, really and truly as much as he wants to play, 28, 32, 36 minutes a game. And I always knew in my private moments, every rep this kid gets is going to aid him greatly as we continue to move along throughout his career. And I thought he handled himself quite well. and he is poised to have an even finer sophomore year. You know, he's bigger and stronger. I've challenged him to be a go-to defender. Let me guard you on the other team's best player. We need to get him to that point. He's a capable defender. He understands it. He got long arms. He can move his feet. He's worked really hard on his perimeter shooting, and that is, I think he was 35, 36 from three. We are a lot more comfortable with those guys in their 40s, and that's saying something. Shooting 40% from three is challenging for anyone. He could very well be in that category this year. He's come a long way.
Coach, you can switch places with your lead play caller.
Thank goodness.
Um,
Don't say anything bad about the head coach.
Never would.
with that, questions for Hunter? Hunter, we'll go first row to your left.
Good afternoon, Hunter. I'll ask you the same thing I asked Mike. You know, from your perspective, having seen all the wings and the guards, how are you feeling about being able to withstand the fact that you have one less now?
Yeah, I'm excited about the group we have in our locker room. We got fighters. We got hardworking dudes. We're going to figure it out. We'll be fine. We've been going through kind of the off-season, summer working out, and we got a good group of guys that I'm confident in, and we'll be excited to start off on November 6th.
Hunter, from the podium, you get to go home for Thanksgiving, play in a tournament. What's that going to be like for you?
I'm excited. It'll be my first time back home. Obviously, play in Tallahassee and Miami, but being able to go to Orlando for Thanksgiving, it'll be a lot of fun. I'll probably have 30 friends and family there, maybe more or less, but it'll be a surreal moment. I grew up playing at Wild World of Sports as a kid in AAU tournaments, so it'll be cool, kind of a full circle moment to go back there my final year of college and be playing there.
Questions for Hunter from the room? Hunter, the notes say that you are shy by about 16 three-pointers to be the all-time career leader in that category at Virginia Tech. Do you think about such things?
Not much, since I see it on social media. This last year it was really brought to light. I asked Coach if I could break it the first game, and he didn't like that idea. So we'll see how that goes. But it's blessed to be in that conversation and have that feature. And just excited for this year, and just go out there and try to win games, whatever comes along.
So the play you designed is not a three-point basket play?
It is. So yeah, it is.
Any other questions for Hunter in the room? Hunter, if you want to switch places with Sean.
Cool.
Sorry. Questions for Sean Padula? We'll go first row, Sean, to your left.
David Cunningham, Tech Sideline. Sean, what has impressed you the most about Brandon and how he has taken to kind of the similar role you had as a freshman to kind of backing up Storm? What has impressed you the most?
Yeah, I think you guys will figure out obviously how good of a shooter he is, and that obviously impressed me. But that was something that I kind of already knew about him. But what impressed me the most that I didn't already know was just his competitive nature that I kind of resemble to a lot. And it kind of gave me flashbacks to my freshman year whenever I was back in Storm. We kind of went back and forth in practices a lot, and it's more of the same with him. So it's great to have him next to me.
Sean, to your right, first row.
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. Kind of going off of that, Sean, when you look at that first season for you, 36 games, didn't start a game. Last season started all 34. Just what you could say about having to wait your turn, kind of go through that process, and then how you feel you performed last season when you had to be the guy.
Yeah, I think that's just part of sports in general. It's just waiting for your turn and earning everything that's given to you. And that was something that I learned a lot my freshman year, is that you're not going to just be given anything, and that's in life too. But then once you do have that opportunity, you got to make the most of it. And last year, I feel like I did a decent job for the most part. Obviously, things happen, but you just want to continue to improve upon the things you can.
Sean, from the podium, you play with a different fire, a bit of a swagger. Don't want to call it an attitude, but there's a different personality about the way you play. Where does that come from?
probably getting beaten up by my brothers in the driveway, if I'm being completely honest. Growing up with a lot of siblings and a lot of older brothers, that's where you kind of find that fiery competitive nature that I do have. So it's something that I take pride in, playing every game with competitive nature, and also watching Russell Westbrook was my favorite player when I grew up. So he's kind of the similar way. So that's someone who I kind of want to role model myself after.
Other questions for Sean? Sean, Castle Coliseum is a special place to play. It's an elite place to play. What kind of fun, what's your responsibility in trying to make that arena as heightened as it can be?
Yeah, it's obviously one of the best places to play in the ACC, and it never ceases to amaze me every time I step foot on the floor. And I never want to take it for granted. It's definitely something that gives myself and my teammates energy, and it's definitely something that you can have an edge over other teams with. As far as my job and my role in creating that energy, just doing my job on the court and what I'm supposed to do, and then the fans usually do a pretty good job of taking care of the rest.
Last question. Team went to Switzerland. Team went to Ireland Italy back in August. Switzerland and Italy. What were your favorite foods?
The pizza, by far. I probably had the best pizza of my life in Switzerland. Or no, it was in Milan, Italy. We went to a little hole-in-the-wall restaurant. It was simple pizza, just cheese pizza, but it was so good. Oh my gosh, so good.
Virginia Tech, good luck this season.
Thank you.
Folks, NC State is due up at 3 o'clock.